Ever since I was little, I had a sense of adventure, both in life and in video games. From playing in the woods behind my house with my brothers to exploring everything a video game world had to offer. And I can trace this love for adventure all the way back to a single game. After playing mostly Mario games on my Super Nintendo, I wanted to see what else was out there as far as video games. Shortly after that, my dad broke out his N64, which he had packed away. At the time, I didn't really know there was more video game consoles other than my Super Nintendo, so this was very exciting. But after we blew the dust off, I was introduced to the 3D world of video games. There was also an N64 at my grandmother's house that I never knew about up until this point. I asked her if I could see what game she had, and she agreed. And there it was, a cartridge with the big name Zelda on it. I had no idea what this game was, but I was drawn to it. I asked her if I could bring it home, and she let me bring it home that night. I fired it up with my brothers on my side, and we immediately thought it looked so cool compared to the pixel art games that we were used to. We soon found out that you can equip yourself with a sword and shield, and this was most young boys' dream at the time. So with our new sword and shield in hand, our adventure began. Seeing a giant tree that was big enough to explore the insides of was something I wish we could do in real life during our adventures in the woods. The giant skulltulas were so scary at the time, and I still to this day hate spiders, and I'm so happy that I've never seen any of them as big as those in real life. But everything else about this first dungeon made me fall in love with this game in just a couple short hours. From finding a super cool slingshot to jumping and breaking through a giant spider web to get to the next floor down. Puzzle solving to advance was a new concept to me. It was the change from side scrollers I was looking for. However, since it was new to us, it did take my brother and I quite some time to understand some of these in the first couple dungeons. For example, we were stuck in the Jabu Jabu Belly dungeon for a year. Yeah, we didn't have internet, and none of our friends at school had played the N64 since it was pretty much outdated to most other kids our age. There's a giant worm looking enemy that is, I guess, supposed to be an intestine, and we didn't know how to beat it. We didn't know that we had to find the Boomerang, which was literally staring us right in the face if we had just set Rudo down on one switch that we have looked at a million times. We finally met another kid who had played Ocarina of Time, and he showed us how to do this. And then we finally got to experience the rest of the game. During that year when we were stuck, we still played the game a lot, running around Hyrule Field and visiting all the places we can go while still being Kid Link. But before we met this kid, I remember finding out that you can make Link an adult, but it was only after finishing the Jabu Jabu Belly dungeon. I wanted so badly to become an adult in the game, and that was kinda true in real life as well. Much like the game, I thought being an adult would be so much better and cooler than being stuck as a kid. But even in Ocarina of Time, I found myself going back to the Temple of Time to become a kid again, as it was more fun and a much more vibrant world. In the game, when Link becomes an adult, the world is depressing and gloomy due to the evil King Ganondorf now ruling in an age of darkness. Now as an adult in real life, I sometimes wish I could turn back time and become a kid again just like Link can in the game. However, adulthood can be great. For example, as a kid, I loved running around with the Hylian shield on my back. However, you're too small to actually hold the shield properly and it just stays on your back. This changes when you become adult Link, and you can now use the Hylian shield as intended, and also get some great new gear and a horse to ride instead of running around everywhere. We can mostly agree that the grass always looks greener on the other side. However, there is ups and downs to all sides. Being an adult isn't all bad, and being a kid wasn't all good either. Earlier I mentioned getting a horse as adult Link. I thought it would be amazing to ride one of these horses you see as Kid Link, and to my surprise, it became reality. You tame a horse named Epona using a song you learned as a kid. Then you have to race this crazy old man who won't let you leave the farm even after beating him twice. So instead, your trusty steed helps you jump over a wall to escape. Having this new freedom to adventure through the rest of the game with a companion was just amazing to say the least. Because of this, I've always loved playing a game where you can travel on horseback, like Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us, Breath of the Wild, just to name a few. Alongside the main story and dungeons, there are plenty of side quests and minigames to explore. As Kid Link, my favorite one was fishing at Lake Hylia. The music was relaxing, and it was really fun to try and catch the biggest fish in the pond. This part of the game reminds me of all the times that I had gone fishing with my grandpa and my dad. My favorite side quest as an adult Link was getting the big Goron sword. You must go through a series of item trades to eventually get the giant Goron his eye drops so that he can craft you this giant two-handed weapon. There are also a few more, like collecting all the gold Skulltulas and playing all the songs you know to the frogs at the river. No matter how you look at it, there is no lack of content, and some games today could really learn from that. Ocarina of Time will always remain one of the best games of all time in my opinion. It has become a timeless classic for me. And anytime I feel like being a kid again, I just turn on the N64 and explore for a bit to get my nostalgia fix. We all need that one game that we can turn to when life gets messy and we need a break from it all. And if Ocarina of Time has taught me anything, it is to not fear adventure but embrace the unknown possibilities. I'm the Mission Slayer, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next adventure.